So the problem is that there is a complete disconnect between what every one of us, you or me, can handle because of the scale of a problem. I mean, the Earth has been symbolically, in painting, in mythology, present into politics, but never, I mean, literally present. So it's a complete novelty for every culture, every society, every civilization. And the novelty of it requires a completely different equipment, not only a scientific equipment, but also a mental, or as you say, a cognitive equipment. And for that, the number of resources is not unlimited. So the only solution people have found so far is to say, well, let's the thing not happen, and let's deny it as possible. So this is where we are. This is the shortcomings, is that there is no tool, it's new, and the reaction is pretty much what you would do if you had a disease with no cure. You would prefer to ignore it. Try 3 different entry. One of them is to modify what aesthetics mean. Aesthetics is not just art. Aesthetic is sensitivity, the way of feeling something. And in our time, the way to do it is not only through the art, which is very important. I mean, all the art and ecology is quite an important field, but also, of course, scientific instruments themselves. So it's through the development of scientific instruments and the collaboration with artists as well that the connection, the sensitivity can be increased, so to speak. But the third point, which is sort of collaboration between the two, is what I call the mapping of scientific controversies. Because that's very important, and it's a way to let people know that it's not a question of science or politics, but a sort of intermingled question where all these questions are in fact uncertain. So the big difference between the situation of the past and the situation of the present is that the controversy about the solution and the controversy about the problem are good points. It's very important that the controversy be foregrounded. So art, science, and controversy are the 3 ways in which not maybe the human race, but at least part of the human race can increase their awareness of the problem of ecology. Lovelock invented a Gaia, which was not a political entity, of course. It was, in his view, a cybernetic series of loops, looping on one another. And he was clearly integrating it into a science, or more exactly an engineering view of the Earth. And in that sense, Gaia is not very useful as such, because first he wants to get rid of a human race, which is not a great help. And for him, Gaia is going to get rid of human. But of course, if you take Gaia now as I said before, as a political as well as a scientific entity, then the question of composing and assembling the right entities at all the different scales which are responsible for the problem of the Earth as such, then Gaia is a very useful myth. I mean, it's a strange beast. It's the name of a goddess. It's a scientific invention. It's simultaneously, like the word Anthropocene tells us, a mixture of humans and former nature. It's local. It's historical. It has all sorts of interesting characteristics for politics. It's not completely impossible to bring Gaia into politics.